Hello, this will be a quick video for parts of the tropics across North America and also in Southeast Asia. So let's first take a look some storms in the Atlantic and Pacific and some possible severe weather, and then we'll take a look at Southeast Asia. So here in the Atlantic we still have like Tropical Storm Dexter got named a few days ago, but you just head out to sea as a tropical storm and then later post-tropical by Thursday and Friday. But it's bringing some rough surf in a few areas and some danger of rip currents. So be aware those areas, especially spots of the East Coast. And especially like in Virginia, North Carolina, and other spots of the East Coast. And further out, you see some strong winds, but you will stay away from land. And then here, there's this area now as well. Remember, we talked about it like 3 days ago. Now it's already at a 50% chance of formation in the middle of the Atlantic, but it has still some problems to face. So, a tropical wave over the far eastern tropical Atlantic is currently producing minimal shower activity. Environmental conditions are expected to be conducted for gradual development during the next few days. And a tropical depression could form late this week or over the weekend, while the system moves generally west, northwestward across central tropical, subtropical Atlantic. So 0% next 2 days and still around 50%. So they still has some dry air to encounter, and it has less shower storm activity than it had while it was overland in Africa. So it has a small chance to form, but still some dry air. And then there's this area near the southeast, a 30% chance that there are some models showing some homegrown stuff possible near the southeast. So we'll be watching that as well. There's Dexter that is already looking kind of weird on satellite, and the left side of it is already dry, but there's still a lot of convection in a few areas, and still tropical storm strength will weaken next few days, but some models still keep it strong further out to sea. So there's also like these other ones, there's this in the Eastern Pacific tropical storm Ernest, that's kind of weakening as well, but will still persist a long time. It might strengthen up a little bit because expect to be a tropical storm at least until Saturday in the latest forecast. So some models weaken it a little bit, and other models try to strengthen it some. Three models turn it into a hurricane, but this will stay out in the open Pacific, so no threat to land. But does show here in the Eastern Pacific, there's Arnett and there's this other area, 90% chance of formation, right? The Eastern Pacific, 60 next 2 days and 90 next 7 days. So be aware, this will probably head away from land as well, but just be aware near the coast of Mexico in case there are any changes. Thus, from the Eastern Pacific, the GFS, it forms this next system and it heads out to sea as well. And later, it's not showing that much. There's the European, the zero C does show Arnett going away there. And then it shows the other system forming. It forms close to the Mexican coast, might leave some heavy rain, but goes out to sea as well and then dissipates. So beware. And I don't know if you saw that, but the European just did something crazy there. So the Canadian model now shows Arnett going away, and then this storm is already forming. Currently, there's some heavy rain over Central America, but then this tries to consolidate over the ocean and goes out to sea. And later, the Canadian that doesn't have that much. So we'll keep watching the Atlantic's an interesting story. So there's Dexter going away there, and then this shock wave, the Canadian model tries to form it into something like just 1011 millibars. It goes and kind of dries in the hands of the dry air. So goes and later it does show some stronger waves, possibly one near the Eastern Caribbean by the 14th, but this model is not too excited. There's the GFS that's always excited, but let's see what's happening to it now. So it does try to form this wave into a depression at first by the 9th, but still like 1013, very weak. Then it kind of consolidates further north of Puerto Rico and near the Turks and Caicos, the Bahamas. It forms a tropical storm by the 14th and just goes crazy. So don't even look at that after 300, 200 hours. But there's the European that is usually a very chill model, but today it's not so chill. So it does show like this first wave, 1011 millibars, trying to become a depression. It goes and just like becomes a blob of disorganized shower. So this wave has little support, but still might become something quick. There's this possible homegrown system, like that there's the National Hurricane Center 30% chance it tries to become low pressure near North Carolina, but something weak. But we are watching that as well. And then the next wave, by the 12th, the European tries to form a depression, the main development region on the 13th, and it does bring a tropical storm towards the Eastern Caribbean around the 14th. And later, the European turns that into a hurricane into the Gulf and the Caribbean. It's one of the first times I've seen the European do this, but that's like more than 300 hours out, and I only believe 1% of it. So don't worry about that now. Just checking the icon to show like the wave in the Central Atlantic just try to become like 1010 millibars, possible depression, and another one off the southeast coast again. But the icon does consolidate to 1007 a little bit more in the Central Atlantic. So we'll be watching that and still nothing too certain. So here like let's see. Some probabilities. Just 1 second. So here, what just happened here? Good. So the probabilities, the European model does show like let's start in the Atlantic first. Shows like there's Dexter, that's dark blue, and then this goes, there's the area in the Central Atlantic, just like 10 to 20% chance of tropical storm. The other one near the southeast, 10 to 20% as well. Does go to 30%, but still a low chance. And later, by the 17th, it does show some chances around the Eastern Caribbean to watch for like 5 to 10% chance of tropical storm. Tropical depression, there's Dexter. For north, and it has a 60 to 70% chance near the southeast and in the Central Atlantic. This goes is still there near North Carolina, this area in the Central Atlantic by next Monday, and later this next area by the 15th, the one that the European developed on the deterministic. So we'll be watching that, but still nothing too certain because this changes a lot. But just be monitoring if you live in those areas. There's the ensembles, they do show this first system might try to become something further out to sea, and there's the next one that there's quite moderate support for this one to enter the Caribbean, the one I showed you about August 12th to 17th. So there's some moderate support for that one, if a member or two in the Gulf, and that one in the southeast. So there's the GFS as well, has like it doesn't have too much layer. It does have this first system now going west, northwest to watch, but it's still kind of uncertain. So be aware, those areas will keep monitoring. So the severe weather very quick does show still a slight risk for Tuesday August 5th today, with some 2% tornado threat in the Dakotas, some 15% wind and some hail too, so stay safe with a few storms there. And thunderstorms associated with threat for severe gusts and large hail possible across parts of the Dakotas today and this evening. So stay safe. Still on day two, a marginal spots in the upper Midwest and the plains. And it does show like it's less than 2% rain effect, but some hail and some wind still from those storms. Day three, a marginal across the northwest to the northern plains, some general storms in the south. So be careful. And day four, we actually have a 15% slight risk array for Friday, day four. So we'll keep watching. This will probably be good for some large hail and also some damaging winds, because they do say some moderate to strong deep layer shear associated with the speed maximum will be favorable for severe weather threat during the afternoon evening, and some supercell large hail, severe and gusts and tornadoes will be possible Friday. So we are watching Friday very closely as well. And still some dangerous fire threat on the west and dry thunderstorms, some critical fire danger in the Great Basin today and tomorrow, and still some dry thunderstorms. So be aware, still the day three and day four. So be careful, and also be careful this extreme heat wave. Today, Tuesday, still some 112 degrees in Arizona, even 213. So some 80s the Northeast, 90s in Florida, in the plains, 102 Texas, New Mexico. So stay safe during the night. Still some 88 degrees during the night in Arizona, very hot. And Wednesday, let's just check this closer up because it's extremely hot. Show like 116 in Arizona and Phoenix spots, California, 114, and there's that huge fire there. So please stay safe. Hundreds in the low elevations in Utah, across Texas, Oklahoma Panhandle, to Kansas and Colorado, more than 100 degrees, and New Mexico. So stay safe in those areas. Wednesday to Thursday morning, like 90 degrees during the night, so that's extremely hot. Please have some AC and some way to stay cool, because Thursday is showing to 117 just south of Phoenix in Arizona, 115, 112. So please stay safe. So it's still like Southern California, 117, 215. So please be careful, like southernmost Utah, spots in Nevada, too, Texas, into Oklahoma, Kansas, even 105 in Colorado, the low elevation. So please stay safe. During the night, still like 90 degrees in a few spots, and still shows Friday to 112, 113, those areas. So please stay safe, stay cool. And this is like Friday afternoon to 103 in the plains, and even more in Texas, more areas. So please stay safe. Saturday, kind of below average in the Rockies, slightly colder during the morning, but Sunday afternoon, once again, even the valleys in California, more than 100, and spots there in Texas, New Mexico, in Arizona, even some 95 in Michigan. So stay safe in those areas. And day six, Sunday, still shows more than 112 in the southwest, so 90s in the plains and more areas. So stay safe, be careful. There's still the her here shows a few storms for the north in Canada, and also this afternoon, Tuesday, there north and South Dakota, some severe storms and damaging winds and hail, and finger tree Minnesota, and more further north in Canada. So be careful. And still Wednesday, tomorrow does continue with a few storms in the Midwest. So stay safe, especially those storms there today. The show Cape as well in those areas this afternoon, and especially Nebraska and South Dakota, more than 3,000 joules per kilogram, 1,000 to 2,500 in North Dakota. So stay safe in those areas, be careful, and just checking here some rainfall totals. The European model still shows in 5 days across like North Carolina, the southeast, some 6 inches, some spots South Carolina too, some 4 inches. Spots in central Canada is also showing Saskatchewan like not 90 to 100 millimeters from a few storms in the upper Midwest. So stay safe. In Mexico, as this potential system passes just south of you, and those strong showers and storms in Central America. So be careful across Cuba, Florida, the Bahamas, local showers and storms, and spots the Eastern Caribbean. So stay safe too. Be careful with the extreme heat risk and excessive rainfall. Some flash flooding still possible, especially in the southeast and spots in the north with those storms. So stay safe in those areas. Just see if there's any important storms in Canada because I feel like the prairies today and tomorrow might have some stuff. So still shows like, let's see if this works because this is absolutely not working. I don't know if this will work or not. It doesn't want to work, but let's see. It doesn't want to, but if it doesn't work, I'll just show you right here. So still like it's a similar thing to the US, but a little bit less severe. So you know those storms that occurred today, a few strong to severe storms possible in southern Saskatchewan into Manitoba, some hail and some gusty winds, especially maybe into southern Manitoba. Wednesday afternoon still shows Wednesday evening spots in Saskatchewan to Ontario and Manitoba, and more rain in British Columbia there, and even to Washington, Oregon, more rain. And does show this event Friday, more possible severe storms to southern Canada, the northern US. So be aware those areas, and also show like Quebec is fairly okay, but Ontario later this week to this weekend, there'll show a few stars in Quebec this weekend and spots in Ontario. So be aware, and even showing in Nunavut a few storms, this rainmaker, British Columbia. So be careful and stay safe. Just checking the tropics around the Western Pacific still shows Bailu, just an extra tropical now going further north. There's the remnants of 14 and still some invests. There's 90S, the Southern Indian Ocean, trying to become something but is struggling a lot. So it does show here this heavy rain still across Southeast Asia, those areas in India, spots central southern India, some flooding possible, most of northeastern India, Nepal, like we said last time, Myanmar, Bangladesh, especially be careful flooding and dangerous landslides in northeastern India, Bangladesh. Be careful with flash flooding, especially like northeasternmost India, like right in those areas of the Himalayas, some very dangerous rainfall totals. Stay safe. One thing we didn't talk about much is southern China. There are some heavy rain in Hong Kong, and there are still some heavy rain in southern China. So stay safe. And Japan might get blasted with some crazy fronts like Jeju in South Korea and spots in southern Japan. The Europeans reach 400 millimeters, a few spots southern Japan. The GFS is further into western Japan, central western Japan more than 100, and a few spots in southern Japan as well. The icons like to 300 millimeters southern Japan, so please stay safe with the strong cold fronts and like the remnants of tropical systems that leaves some dangerous flooding in Russia, like mostly southern Russia and eastern Russia, more rain, and spots in western Russia, some severe storms still. Be careful in some storms the Caucasus in Turkey and Georgia, and a few storms the mountains in Yemen into Saudi Arabia, a few storms as well. So be aware, but especially in Southeast Asia, in the Philippines, Indonesia, especially Western Guinea, Papua New Guinea, some downpours, Indonesia and Palau, and spots in the Philippines, some showers and storms. So stay safe. There's still the extreme heat wave in the Middle East to 48 degrees. Please, like 48, might be close to 50 in a few spots western Iran, in Iraq. Most of the Arabian Peninsula more than 44, 45 degrees. More spots in Russia, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, very hot in spots of China, Pakistan as well, Afghanistan. So please stay safe. The heat wave still, and slightly colder in Siberia than Russia, but the rest is pretty warm. So stay safe.